have $1 in my account right here today as we speak, I'm gonna be straight for the rest of my life. No question, right? I don't think everybody is in that. And when you've sacrificed your whole life to get here, and you're like, yeah, I played 10 years in the league. And I always explain this to people, like, bro, you give somebody a 5-year, $100 million contract, right? What is it really? It's 5 years for 60. You're getting taxed. Do the math. That's 12 a year, that you have to spend, use,
Save,
save,
invest.
invest, flaunt, like whatever, however, just being real. I'm gonna buy a car, I'm gonna give my mama a house, I'm gonna do, everything costs money. So if you spending $4 million a year, that's really 40 million over 5 years, 8 a year, And now you start breaking down the numbers, it's like, that's a 5-year span of where you're getting 8 million. Can you make that last forever? And you always hear the people who ain't us and ain't been in the position, like, oh, well, that would last a lifetime. Yeah,
See, this right here is just a lack of accountability and a complete disconnect of where he really came from before he made it to the league. It's like any struggles or any hard times or just not being a millionaire or rich, he has been living in his life as he's lived a life where he just always had. And for you to get on a podcast or whatever you want to call it and say $100 million is not enough to live comfortably just shows that he is living with a lot of regrets about the money he has spent and the decisions he has made with that money. I've made some bad decisions and blowed through some big bags or whatever, and I live with regrets every day, but I don't blame anybody for my bad financial decisions I've made over the past, and I don't, if even if I'm speaking to somebody about it, I don't try to justify what I got or what I accumulated or came across as not being enough. Because if you are disciplined with your finances and what you get, you can make it work and you can figure out, how to get by. This is just a classic case of I outlived my means, and now that I'm not getting that NFL check, and I probably don't have anything to fall back on. I don't have no good investments. I hadn't invested in any good stable businesses. No, nothing. This looks like a person or a man that is just emotionally drained because he can't foresee him living the next 20 or 30 years with whatever he has left. And you just need to, it's funny that he's on a podcast called A Pivot. You may just need to pivot and figure out to how to make some more money or make what you have. I mean, I know you'll get the NFL pension and this, that, and the other, but you going out buying $1 million, $1.5 million Bugattis, and you literally only have maybe 10 or 15, $20 million in the bank. That's just a dumb decision. And this guy was buying Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and stuff, just like he was going to the store buying a pair of shoes. And I just think that it's very, very distasteful to get on this podcast and spew this nonsense and basically just flat out lies, because $100 million, whether you got to give the government and state 40% or not, $60 million is a lot of money. And he goes into talking about friends and family, and if you get $100 million check and you pay the government and the state 40 million, you got $60 million left over. If you just somehow put that all at once or over time, well, you didn't even invest it, and you just draw 5% interest. So $1 million will get you $50,000, $60,000 a year. So if you take that 60 times 60 million, that's 3.6 million a year, just interest alone that you could live off of. And so who in the hell can't live off of $300-some-thousand a year? And that's just putting that money in the right place and not blowing it and spending it on cars or whatever and this, that, and the other. But you can see it all over his face, the regret that he has about the financial decisions he made and helping whoever and this, that, and the other. You still could have took care of your mama. You didn't have to go and spend money on jewelry, cars, women, partying, or whatever he done over his career. And it's just a total disconnect. Real man is gonna take accountability. A real man would have got on this podcast and said, you know what? I probably made $100 million over my career. I wish I would have done this different. I wish I would have done that different. A real man not gonna get on there and say $100 million wasn't enough. Come on, man. Go ahead on with that. And so I can understand and see and feel the frustration that a lot of people have given about watching this interview, and the people just coming up in uproars about like bro, come on, like that's a lot of money. And for you to sit on this podcast and make like it wouldn't, then that's another thing. Like it's like he didn't even appreciate the position that he was put in to make that kind of money. And no team is gonna touch him with a 10-foot pole, and it's just like Terrell Davis, like excellent receiver. I think he a cool guy, but he just made a lot of bad financial decisions, and hence he's just in the shape he's in now. But take someone like the co-host of Club Shay Shay, Chad Ochocinco. Chad Ochocinco will tell you, like, I want to say he saved, don't hold me to this, like 80% of his salary, knowing that there would be life after the NFL. And unfortunately for Odell Beckham Jr., he just a part of that statistic of professional athletes making millions, tens of millions of dollars, and not making good decisions about the money, and having to live in regret and shape and pivot and figure out how they can live and survive, after football. But overall, I think the interview was very distasteful. Like this part, I went and looked at the interview, and this part alone in the interview made me not even want to watch the interview. The only reason why the interview is going viral now, a month after the fact, is because of people that went back and watched it. Was like, did he really just say this during this interview? And so now people are up in the uproar about, bro, you had 100 million. That's nothing to complain about. You shouldn't be complaining about it, and it is what it is. But he didn't do, he didn't make a good case for being picked up even on a third team or a practice squad or something on the NFL. His rhetoric, the way he acted, the arrogance, a lot of stuff during his NFL career has a lot to do with no teams picking him up right now. And like I always say, it is what it is. It's neither here nor there. But please like, subscribe. Let me know what you all think in the comments down below. I'm trying to hit 100K subs. We running that way real fast, and I appreciate all the support. Everyone have a blessed day.